My guest on Norwich Theatre Talks this week is a legend and an icon in every sense of the word. We're here on tour for Norwich Theatre Talks this week in her dressing room just before the half of Now That's What I Call a Musical. Welcome to Norwich Theatre Talks, Sinitta. Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
What
It's so nice to have you here.
Thank you.
Welcome back to Norwich, and I say welcome back because you're becoming a frequent visitor to our
A frequent
stage.
visitor, and I love it more and more and more each time.
Yeah.
I didn't realise how beautiful Norwich is as a city, and that it's a city. It's a city because it has cathedrals, right?
Cathedrals. Now you've read the guidebook because we've got more than one. So many people would get that wrong.
You see?
Yeah.
And it is stunning. I'm having such a great trip.
It's lovely to have you
Thank you.
here. You're here with Now That's What I Call a Musical. Tell us a little bit about the show, because some people will know what Now is.
But Now is, and some people won't. So Now is the album collection from back in the, I think it started in the 80s. And it would be like a weekly chart rundown. So that's how you knew everything that was in the top 10. If you couldn't afford to buy albums, you bought the Now album, which had all the songs from everybody else's albums. So this show celebrates that, but also uses all the music. So the storyline is woven through the sort of arc of music, and it's amazing because these are songs that we've heard all our lives.
Yeah.
But suddenly it's like you're hearing the lyrics for the first time.
Yeah.
Because the stories of the songs fit the scenes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And there's a real sense of people loving that sense of nostalgia, isn't it? And it kind of, you know, I look out into the audience for a show like this, and there's generations of people.
Generations of people
who weren't there in the 80s hearing those first Now
Yeah,
One, Now
people
Two,
who
Now
weren't
Three.
there, people who weren't there, people who were there, and people like we stand at the stage door afterwards and we're hearing people's stories because it's triggering, but in a really positive way.
Yeah.
People are like, "Oh my gosh, I remember where I was when I bought that record," or you know, me and my best friend, or at our class reunion, we did this and we played your song, and we're just hearing all these amazing stories. But what's great as well is that the audience sing the songs with us. So, you know, in 1 minute it's quite a sort of heavy dramatic scene, and the next minute the audience is joining in singing the songs.
And that's the intent of the show, it's that kind of
fantastic.
party feel-good thing. And that's really special, isn't it? The way the kind of music can unite generations like that, and your songs in particular. I mean, I can you sort of hear kids of 12, 13 singing So Much Hurt, and you think you weren't even thought of.
Like, how do you know these songs?
How do you know that?
Yeah,
it's passed down. That must feel quite special.
It's so special. I mean, who would have thought that anyone would ever call So Macho a classic? But it is just woven into people's childhood memories.
Yeah.
And, you know, again, I hear stories, you know, that was the first record I bought.
Yeah.
I remember saving my pocket money to go and get it. And we went with my
first
dad
kiss.
on a Saturday.
All that stuff.
He took me to get it. And it's lovely. But then, of course, for kids who are a lot younger, because the songs are in video games or, you know, animation movies and things like that, you know, so you have kids saying, well, how do you all know our songs? Because they think it's their songs. And we're having to go, no, this first came out in the 80s.
Absolutely. And a show like this, because this is your last day on the show for now, isn't it? For now.
My last day. Yes.
But it's continuing to tour. It's the kind of show that if you're not a regular at the theatre, you just love that music, you just want that kind of release, that kind of fun. It's that kind of show.
Oh yeah, this is not highbrow theatre, but don't get me wrong, the storyline is very strong, and a lot of people who've thought that they're just coming for a jolly and a sing-along have been quite shocked that actually there's a strong storyline, and they've been quite moved and, you know, by different scenes. But people who don't like the theatre have liked this. A friend of mine, in fact, it's Sam Bailey, who's going to be in the show. So she came with her husband, and she said, I dragged him along because I needed to come. She said he was moaning all the way there. He kept reminding me how much he hates going to theatre. He doesn't like it. She said he sat there, belly laughed, you know, throughout the show, tapping his foot and just having the best time ever. And then said it's the best thing he's ever seen at the theatre, and he's seen a lot. Then the other night in Nottingham, someone laughed so hard they spat their teeth out.
Oh, no.
And we still haven't been able to find them. It got reported to us because people were saying, you know, if you come across
the house is now open, please do not cross the stage. The house is now open, so please do not cross the stage. Thank you.
Coming to you live from backstage.
We're really in the theatre. So people are having a great time. And by the end of the show, people are out of their seats dancing and singing with us. So it's great.
And do you have a great time?
Oh, yes.
Because this isn't your first time treading the boards now.
No,
We mentioned
I've done it
here.
a lot,
Yeah.
many years I've been doing theatre. And I have to say, I'm lucky enough that, I don't need to work now. So I like to do things that I really want to do, that I know I'm going to enjoy. Yeah. And I'm very, very sad to be going. And the only thing that's stopping me being tearful about the whole thing is I'm coming back in late January to the show, because my role is shared with Sonia and Tapal Carol Decker. So I've done 5 weeks, and but I'm having a great time. I mean, it's like in the old days we used to go out clubbing. We went to discos. Sorry, that's showing my age, isn't it? But we used to go to discos and dances. It's like going back to your discos with all your old friends.
And there's that camaraderie, isn't there, which when you do work on TV or as a recording artist, which you kind of don't get. You're kind of living with each other. You're just saying to me, you've just taken all of your castmates out for
we just all
dinner,
had lunch. We had a farewell lunch. Yeah, your family.
Such a special unit. You can't replace that. That's the thing. And even on TV, you don't get that same because it's so cut into chunks,
and they cut it up and then they edit it all together. Whereas we're actually telling the story live every night and living it together. And we'll all go out after the show, and we're in a different city every week. So you discover the cities together. Oh, there's a great little bar here, or there's a nice tea shop over there, and we all go together. So we're coming to a town near you soon.
But I guess for you, how does it kind of feel, because you're in this show bringing out some of those massive hits, which now must feel like a different Sinitta when you were doing that. Then they're still part of you. Do you feel protective of them? Do you feel that you come to them in a different way now?
Do you know what? It feels like a tremendous honour. It's so weird because obviously when it's you, you're just you, right? But I'm kind of almost being celebrated in this, and I'm sort of being brought out as almost like a legend, to sing my songs, which is amazing. It's a huge honour, but it's also really funny because of course it's just me. It's just me, but it's
and
super
you are
nice.
Flesh and bone,
but
I can
it's
tell you.
super nice. You kind of think, wow, this is so nice, and the audience reaction, the warmth, and everything. But you do sort of think, wow, that's what music does, and what's a privilege is realizing that my music did that. People, back in the day when they were young, they were having a bad day, or it was bad weather and you couldn't go out to play. You went into your room and you put on your music, and it transformed everything. So to be part of that transformation, maybe on a grey day, in people's lives, is fantastic.
I think that's incredibly humble, and I introduced you as icon and legend because I genuinely think that. I mean, dare I say it? Am I allowed to say that it was almost 40 years ago that you first released some of these huge tunes?
Literally 40 years.
And that period of time to still have that presence and that credibility in your career all that time, that is a test, isn't it? That period. But
amazing, because I certainly didn't think that I would still be doing things like
this.
this.
And a lot of people around you at that time, they haven't stood that test of time, had they? The music wasn't strong enough, but also, just thinking about, I was kind of just coming through at that period of time, hearing these songs. I don't think I realised at the time quite how strong an artist and a personality you were, to be holding that presence in a very male, very white world as well, and singing those songs. Just incredible, actually.
I mean, it's really surprising for me as well, because I think for me, I was always a jobbing actor. It was wow, if I don't have to get a proper job and I can pay my bills, this is great. And it's kind of gone on and on and on, and then suddenly it's 40 years later and you're still doing it. So it's kind of a bit like that for me, but it is very humbling. And like I said, I'm embracing it in the company. I mean, they treat me as an equal, as part of the company, but there is this almost sort of reverence, or this deference of, I'm like the grande dame. And I'm starting to embrace it and think,
Dame
what?
Sinitta.
Let me just
That will be next.
Let me just have
Dame
this. Let me just enjoy this while it's happening, because then when I get back home, my kids aren't going to treat me like
Are they
that.
not? No. There's none of that starriness. Oh, Sinitta, it's been amazing to chat to you. Now, we have one thing that we do with all guests on Norwich Theatre Talks. This podcast is all about talking.
Yes.
And we have a random question pot here. They're all about talking. So
and suddenly we're back on the Wide Awake Club.
So we're bringing back the 80s full on.
Anyway, boom. Do I read it, or do I give it to you?
You read it.
Okay. Oh, have I got more than one? No. It's just folded in half. Okay, can I just say, I don't know if you can pan down. Can you pan down, camera? That there is someone very beautiful.
There is.
Here. Scarlett, who's that? Who's that, Tom? Look at this. I mean,
yeah.
she's even got the 80s perm. Look, she's got the hairdo as well. This is Scarlett O'Hara.
Good. Evening members of the now can finish off our call in 30 minutes.
Okay, so I've got to do this now. When was the last time you were lost for words?
Ooh.
That doesn't happen very often. I don't know. I mean, I'm not often lost for words. Maybe there's a striptease scene in the show.
Right,
A boy called Callum does. And he was asked to improvise. It wasn't choreographed.
Oh, my word.
I have no words.
This is all the kind of fun that happens on stage that you never hear about. And as the tour goes on, those things happen more and more frequently.
There's more and more and more and more.
More and more fun. And then finally, what's next in Sinitta World? What are you looking forward to? What's coming up
Still
next?
in theatre land.
Yeah.
When I leave here, so I get a week off, and then I go back into Chicago to play Mama Morton.
Amazing.
For Brenda Edwards for a couple of weeks.
Fantastic.
So that's going to be fun. So I'll be dusting off that old script and memory and doing that again. But it's fun. I'm
got a little
back in the
motto,
theatre.
always sees me through.
Exactly,
That's a
when you're
great
good to
number.
Mama. So that's exciting. And I'm just happy to be doing what I love and traveling the country, meeting people, and I get paid to do this.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, yes.
Amazing. Oh, Sinitta, thank you so much for joining me on Norwich Theatre Talks. It's an absolute joy to meet you.
Thank you so much.
And we'll see you next time for another episode.
Bye.